Welcome, mindful performers. CecilBuck here. Thank you for watching. If you like this channel, before we get started, please click like and subscribe to be notified of new videos. Want to get that out of the way right at the beginning. I wanted to start creating content again on Saturday mornings, and I understand that sometimes it's going to be very well crafted and I've thought through and I have all the bullet points and everything. And other times it's just going to be a stream of thoughts that may or may not be interesting, and that's okay. The reason that that's okay is that during the last meditation retreat that I attended, which was in Vancouver, Canada, in February, we performed or practiced a pineal gland meditation during that event, during every week-long retreat with Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's a 4-hour meditation, and it's really designed to tap you into the quantum field, to the divine mind, to whatever you want to call the vast amount of information and possibility that surrounds us at all times. So during these meditations, I often receive visions or dreams. And what I've learned from Dr. Joe and other teachers is that when you receive messages in a state of meditation or a state of trance, you are receiving information from a higher mind or from your divine purpose, or perhaps even your future self, your oversoul, whatever you want to call it. And you should pay attention to it. You shouldn't discount it as a silly dream. And the message that I received in Vancouver during the Sunday pineal gland meditation was that I have a lot of support in expressing my voice. And I'm still determining what that actually means. Is that vlog? Is it blog? Is it writing? Is it a book? I think it's a mix of everything. But what is clear from that message is that I was not creating and I was not providing content on a regular basis. And the only way to really form a message or understand better what it is you want to convey to the world is by thinking the thoughts and forming the thoughts that you believe in, and forming your belief system and practicing what it takes to keep the faith and the knowing in your belief system, and then to continue that practice so that you're able to craft the words and craft the message. So that's where we're at. I realized that even though it's a burning desire within me to create content and to create vlogs and to be on YouTube and to have viewers, when I first started, that was really the drive. Like, how many viewers, how many views, how many subscribers, and all this. And I realize now that that's not what it's about. What it's about is trying to find ways to communicate to you and to others that it's possible to follow your dreams. It's possible to create reality in a way that is positive and that is inspirational and that helps others in some way wake up to their own potential. And so this video is really me rambling about the fact that the message I received was clear, and it was to create content. It was to express my voice, and I wasn't doing that. So this is the start in creating and expressing. And hopefully during this video, you'll also find inspiration on what it is that you can do to help others and to really serve. How do we serve humanity in waking up to their full potential, into waking up to the possibility of harmony and of peace and compassion and acceptance and support? These are the things that just resonate with me right now. And they're things that I think help us through transitions. And I think we as a species and we as individuals are going through a quickening of change. I've heard Dr. Joe talk about this. I've heard many other teachers talk about this pace that is occurring within the world, and the change that's occurring, and the clinging on to the old and the creation of the new. And when I'm talking to people about the big problems in the world, when we're just brainstorming or just philosophizing about the different different things going on with healthcare, poverty, or abundance, or whatever it is. One of the things that I always talk about is that these things that we see as problems won't be solved by fixing these old paradigms, these old ideas. And we're seeing it where the way these are solved is by completely replacing them. And the technology that we have available to us at this point allows us to disrupt so quickly and to create so quickly that we see complete displacements of previous systems, previous ways of doing things that no longer make sense because the new way is so much better for just about everybody, right? Except for perhaps, and I would argue that it's still good, perhaps even for the people that are being impacted by that change. And the example I'll give, of course, is Lyft or Uber displacing taxis. Now, that's not happened everywhere in the world because I was just in Vancouver where you can't get an Uber. And I'm sure that's, that will change because I can tell you that what happened in Vancouver when it snowed was a complete shutdown of the taxis. Nobody would drive on the evening that we got this big snowstorm. And the next morning, when everyone was trying to leave the hotel and people were trying to get around the town and the taxis were running, there were hour-plus waits for taxis. Now, if they had Lyft and Uber, I doubt there would be an hour wait for a taxi. So people are traveling, people are seeing the ways that technology and new ideas and new ways of doing things can become a better way of doing things for everybody. And it's so inspiring when I talk to other people and I really try to steer the conversation towards what is possible. How do we keep open to potential and possibility? For those of you that don't know, I used to do a Saturday morning live and I would stream it live, and this is kind of harkens back to that. Now, as I said, there'll be many times that I have a topic that's very specific. Today's topic is express your voice. That was a message that I received. That's the message that I want to convey to you. That voice doesn't have to be voice. It can be written. It can be song. It can be music. It can be lessons. It can be teachings. It can be inspiring others to do something that fills them with purpose. Something that allows them to become greater than what they thought was possible. To embrace their ideals and embrace to actually start forming their own ways of thinking that are positive and that feed their soul. And the other message today is to stay open to potential, to understand that there's so much more to this world than meets the eye, and that when we feel trapped or we feel like we're in a loop or a cycle, there are tools available to us to break out of the cycles, to truly change the way we feel. My son and daughter and I were talking the other morning, and he was stressed about something, and my daughter was mulling over the day at school, and sometimes those days are good, sometimes not. For whatever reason, my son looks at my daughter and says, "Dad is the only person I know that's actually happy." And well, one, that made me a little sad because I hope that he's happy, and I hope he is happy more often than not. And I think he is. But in that moment, the comment made sense based on what we were talking about. So I reminded him that I'm happy because it's a choice, and it's something that we get to choose and we get to work on, and that it does take a commitment to break free of old patterns and old behaviors and old beliefs that kind of keeps us in these loops that we learn as children, where we think we need to be grumpy or upset or angry or a victim or guilty, and that through meditation, through breath work, through exercise, through, I mean, the list goes on. And I think the technology is going to keep on coming where we're truly able to start breaking those patterns down faster and faster. Not only that, I think just the human race as a whole being conscious of the fact that we can make change and that we can do more with our minds and with intention and clear focus is also helping everyone else do the change and create change and have these realizations on their own. So make the choice to be happy. Make the choice to see the challenges in your life as opportunities. And I know that's, it's cliche, I suppose. And I know that sometimes it's harder than, some situations are much, much, much harder than others. But I can tell you from experience that the more often you approach challenges in your life as opportunities, the more you work through them, regulating your state, as we learn in Dr. Joe's work, and staying emotionally calm and responding instead of reacting, that it becomes easier. And you start to observe the old patterns and you start to replace those patterns or catch yourself in those patterns right away and choose a different response and do something differently that helps another person, helps yourself retain this state of calm or happiness or presence or whatever it is you choose. It doesn't have to be happiness. The last thing I'll touch on that's tied to happiness is that remember, and this is actually, I was talking to one of my coworkers and he was at church and they were talking about how fun doesn't always equal happy. You can do a lot of things that are fun in the moment and be really unhappy later on based on that decision to do that thing that seemed fun in the moment. So I wanted to leave you with that thought because it really resonated with me due to the fact that I spent a lot of years thinking I was having fun when in reality I was really beating my body up, my health up, my mind up, and was not happy at all. I was not happy. So remember, it's a choice. And I made sure to explain that to my two children that were sitting there and make sure that they know that it's something that they can choose. It's something that they can do on their own. It's something that is available to everybody. It's a choice. Thank you for watching. Again, click like, share this video if you're so inclined. I appreciate you taking the time. And I will be talking to you soon. Creating content, expressing voice, that's what it's all about this year. Thanks, everybody.